Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Three Wise Guys podcast. It's your Council of Chiefs here. It's Arya. It's Luke. It's Delapo. Fantastic.
There we go. I'm glad constructive criticism seems to land with you. So.
Yeah, so do
great.
petty insults.
Hey.
Petty insults help a lot, actually.
Is this
They stick in a more traumatic way.
Is this the it's your boy? Like,
Yeah,
That's gone. That's never coming
It's
back.
never coming back.
If you were a fan of it, I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah, well,
But, sorry, not sorry, I guess.
I guess a mix, like for those wondering how to affect change in your friends, it has to be a mix of constructive criticism and petty
bullying.
insults.
well,
Bullying.
With a sprinkle of bullying.
Sprinkle of bullying.
There you
Bullying.
go.
Bullying builds character, right?
It does. It does.
Have we all been bullied?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, first of all, like bullying is an essential part of growing up, at least like in our generation.
Yep.
But it's also I feel like a little while back there was like something trending on social media of like bring back bullying.
Was it?
Yeah, basically just like
Like pure poly.
kids are like
platform. Sorry.
Oh my God, dude. This is the guy that said stay away from politics.
yeah
He
from the
does
beginning.
politics.
But yeah.
He literally was telling us that. But all right,
Jesus.
go
That
ahead.
was fun though.
Okay, before we because we just came back from a trip, but before we get to that, dude, this past week I've been bombarded by the liberal candidate in our neighborhood.
Came
When
to
I
our door.
walk to work, like he himself is at Runnymede Station,
Really?
handing like he himself with like a couple of his constituents, and and then I think I was telling you guys like one of these weekdays where like you guys weren't home.
Is the Kareem dude?
Yeah, I come home. It's like 6:30. I make myself a meal. I heat up leftovers, but it doesn't matter. I have it in front of me, and I go out. I smoke a bowl, and I come back in, and I hear a knock, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, and then we have a glass front door. I don't know if anyone in the viewers can relate to this, but like, I'm of the opinion that like if someone knocks, I'm at home. I'm not obligated to answer the door if I don't want to, especially.
Yeah.
But if they see me through the glass, now I'm like, fuck. Now I have to go answer the door because now it feels awkward. I open the door and this guy starts going off on
It was
like
him?
no, it's like
Okay.
a constituent, but he was like, yeah, do you stand for like fairer wages for our teachers? Do you stand for like $10 daycares for our families? And I was like, I stand for the fucking lunch that is the dinner that's in the microwave.
Oh,
bro. Like,
jeez.
stop
I was
talking
like,
to
these
me.
are the wrong point. Like, I don't have kids.
Oh, God.
Like you have to look at me and give me the talking points that seem relevant to me.
He had the right.
Unless you
yeah.
look like you have kids.
Maybe he had the right script for the neighborhood, but not for this specific house
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
neighborhood. But
For context, everybody listening, we don't necessarily belong in this neighborhood. I don't.
What do
Yeah,
you
that's-
mean we don't belong?
By standard definition.
Yeah, sure.
By standard, we belong because we belong anywhere.
Yeah, what Arya is trying to say
We're outliers
is,
in the
people are
neighborhood.
surprised.
is,
when
yeah, we live in
live
a
here.
young family neighborhood and we are three single idiots. So,
And
Well,
also
not
some
single,
idiots.
just not married with kids.
I mean, so
to the eyes of the government, we're single.
I was
actually.
gonna
That's
say,
fair.
man,
Yeah,
don't
okay.
well, okay, it's a nuanced conversation. But I
You're
wanted
either
to,
married or you're not
yeah,
married.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's
That's what it is. But I wanted to add something where like I really like that because like politics is local. Like you know what I mean? Like Kareem Bardisi or whatever his name is, and maybe I shouldn't well, actually it's an area, so people don't know our neighborhood, but he's the MP that matters for our little thing. So he matters for us the more than Dougie Ford or
Mhm.
Mark Carney.
Yeah, that's true.
Or all of that. So like I like that, there's and like all the pickets in our neighborhood aren't about Mark Carney or Dougie
No,
Ford
no.
or any of that. It's about the actual person that matters to our neighborhood. So I know we all get caught up in federal politics ourselves. We do that as well. But at the end of the day, the politics that does matter the most to you and to your family is the politics.
Is your local riding.
Is your local riding. So
I did want to add, now that you mentioned it, because we're going to talk about politics probably a little bit later, just
Yeah.
from experiences that we went through. But I read this morning.
yeah,
You guys might find this interesting, right? But over the past decade, I'll say, what's the thing here? Yeah, over the past decade, of the 31 like rich countries or whatever it is, only one has had a larger spike in support over 100 days than the Liberals this year since Mark Carney took office.
Really?
Yeah. So national polling average, this is from The Economist, by the way. This is like self-sourced studies and everything like that. National polling average, percentage point difference compared with the lowest point in a 100-day range. So below us, you have the Brexit Party.
Okay.
Britain 2019, they had a huge surge over 100 days. And then in 2022, Britain again, the Labour Party had a huge spike as well, right? You have the Liberal Party of Canada 2025 as the number 2. And we'll put the graphic up. I'll send it to Davin afterwards. The only other one that has a larger spike in 100 days than us is the Freedom Movement in Slovenia in 2022.
Really?
This is over the past decade. The 31 rich parliamentary or semi-presidential democracies over the past decade, only the Slovenian one has had a higher
than the Liberal Party
in a 100-day span than our Liberal Party this year.
Yeah. So
and according to The Economist's latest poll, the Liberals are actually ahead.
They are.
If the election was taken today, they have an 87% chance of winning.
Yeah, no, they have been cementing their lead.
Yeah,
I was gonna say because like very interesting. Like it's like kind of like the stars have aligned sort of moments, and like I feel like in Canadian politics, it's actually happened a few times in the last like 5 to 6 years. But it's interesting that you say like the local writing is the most important part. Like objectively, that's true. But I think like the other context there is that like that is our inputs on the federal election, right? Like who we vote for in the local writing. And then to your point, I think the thing that's interesting is like in local writings, people have more specific things that they look for that are not covered at the federal level, but they impact the federal level. So it's like that level, I think, really matters. And interesting enough, like we'll get to it eventually, but like I think when we were talking to some of the alumni at the alumni event we were going to, I think that differentiates very much from location to location. Like, you know what I mean? Like some areas are much more well run, so the competition is much higher. Whereas I'm sure, like, not to like name a, like, I don't know, like in King City, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how deep the competition there is. It might be insane.
No, very true.
Like, you know what I mean?
You know, might not as well.
Yeah, it might just be like if you have enough money to put up signs, like you'll probably be the one that wins. Or...
No, that's a great point. That's a great point. But yeah, no, shout out. This is specifically to all my Nigerian listeners, okay? Politics is local, all right? Go fucking figure it out in your neighborhood before you do other things, all right? But yeah, I'm done.
And you know what?
Build the borderlines between the neighborhoods first. Figure out what those look like, and then you can have writings.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to say, I apologize, Kareem. You are actually the first politician I have seen probably face to face.
Look at that.
You know what? Your flowers have to be given.
Yeah,
your flowers have to be given.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, you were there at the station at I think 7, like 10 in the morning. So you were probably there at since 6 a.m. God knows when you woke up. Like that was a day. That was a day.
Yeah.
But politics is about accountability, and I want to talk about something today about accountability. So Arya and I we just took a group trip, and we took a group trip with 3 other men. There was 5 of us in total.
I was not on this group trip because I'm poor.
We can talk about the trip. Like we went to beautiful British Columbia.
Yes, yeah.
We dropped off in Kelowna. We went to Revelstoke for a couple nights, and then we went to Rawson, British Columbia, where we went to Red Mountain Resort. And it is beautiful. If any of the listeners listening or watching have never been to BC, put it immediately up there. If we're talking about buying Canadian and doing Canadian things, you need to go visit Canada. You need to go to British Columbia.
I haven't been to BC before.
You need to go to BC.
Really?
Yeah, how much does it cost?
It used to be expensive, but I'll tell you, it depends. We got our tickets for what, $500 round trip?
How much did you spend? On the trip?
Spend there?
Yeah.
Can't remember.
I think the whole trip was under like 2,600, right? Whole trip.
Yeah, it was like a 10-day trip.
Whole trip.
I mean,
Was it 10 days?
it was just under 10 days, I think.
Easily under 2,600. Like, not to say like.
I mean, you're in Canada.
Over $2,000.
If you're gonna tell me, if you're gonna ask like what was the price of things there, I don't think they were significantly more expensive. Yeah. Gas was more expensive.
Yeah, it was
gas was significantly more expensive.
The hard costs were probably like 1,500, right? Like when you go through the plane tickets, the Airbnb for all 10 days, plus the car rental for 10 days, plus the gas. and then like the accessory spending, like we definitely went I think every day.
Yeah.
No,
we
that's
were,
cool.
we were, we were
Because
buying,
that's what you should do.
we were
That's what you should
blowing,
do.
we were blowing $60 to $80 each at a burger joint, like in the middle of the mountain.
Dude, I had a charge from Red Mountain for like $80. And I was reviewing the charges at the end of the trip, and I still can't account for that transaction. I don't know when I spent it. I don't know how it came up on my card. I know I definitely spent it. I definitely tapped my card, but I just don't remember it, and it washed away.
Okay, just the detour, but me quantifying me being broke, like, you know.
No, it's like, again, like I think, okay, 2,600 might have been a bit overblown.
I don't even know. I didn't do the full
on paper that
calculation.
is.
That's not even that's not even why we brought it up.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Go
Yes.
see it. You know, you should go see the rest of Canada as much as you can.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really start exploring Canada until a few years ago.
This is true, yeah.
Yeah, Alberta was our gateway.
It was just Ottawa, Montreal,
in Toronto.
Yeah, that was
it.
Niagara
So
Falls, I guess.
go see it. But yeah, anyways, Luke, I want you to air out your
Oh
laundry.
yeah, sorry. Before I go to the more petty thing, I absolutely agree. I think like sometimes like when I was living in China, I was like, there was this idea of like beautiful Canada, right? And when I came here, it wasn't like Canada wasn't beautiful, because I remember my mom would take me to like see like the leaves and stuff, like in Algonquin Park and like all that stuff. I always thought it was gorgeous, but like going out west, it's like you're like, whoa, like this is the tourist destination of Canada, like Lake Louise and some of these spots, man, like it's crazy nature looks like that. It's like in the same way that like you might look at the Grand Canyon or like some of these like mountains in Asia and stuff, like they actually inspire awe. Like it's incredible.
Wow.
So
I didn't know this, but Lake Louise is the #1 tourist destination in all of Canada.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
It's like the #1. Everybody goes there.
like
It
I
makes
look at
sense.
the pictures and like even the pictures are enough for me. Like even the pictures alone are enough to make me jealous.
Our friends just got engaged there.
yeah.
Oh yeah, was it at Lake Louise?
It was at Lake Louise. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, at first we thought they stayed
Yes.
at Lake Louise, which
Fairmont.
I was like, holy shit, like how are you affording that? But like apparently no, only the engagement was there. So
Okay.
I'm glad that bar was not set, because this friend was my girlfriend's sister's fiance now, basically. So that was not a good expectation to set for me.
Expectation.
Yeah.
Yes. So sorry, on the petty thing. Like I think whenever you travel with men, and obviously in our older age,
Age, we're 26.
trips have gone so much better, like so much better in our older age. That's one aspect of like being university I did not miss. Because bro, I remember in university taking trips with guys, and like they would just be like all the pettiest shit. Like you would go to like I don't know, like you would go buy a bunch of groceries, right? And like they would be eating it, and like you eat like one of their muffins, and they're like, "Yo, can you like you transfer me like $2?" And you're like, "What the fuck, dude? I made a whole meal for you last night." Anyway, doesn't matter.
Wow.
So all this to say, even this problem I'm about to air out is not that big of a problem. I'm just
No,
very,
it's a big freaking problem. Okay,
I'm just
It's a
petty.
big. Do not downplay the things that are important to you, Luke.
So on this trip, we bought food to make breakfast, right? So like twice we bought bacon, and I remember the first time I made 2 packs of bacon. I made it in like
For how many people?
For 5 of us.
I'm pretty sure too. At some point, the real bacon turned into turkey bacon. Is
It
that
was
true?
It was turkey bacon,
Okay.
then it was real
You
bacon.
got sick of it.
Yeah. And that's a totally different story.
Okay.
It was actually chicken bacon, I'm pretty sure.
Chicken
I think
bacon.
Oh
my God.
What is that?
But like we made 2 packs, and 2 packs is like what? Like fucking easily like 30 pieces. Like
Yeah.
30, 40 pieces.
That's what
of
I'm like,
bacon.
for how many people?
Right.
2
For 5 of
packs?
us, 30 pieces. So like what? You do quick math.
Clearly
It's like,
living luxury
Yeah,
out
you-
here.
D wants to stay on that point. The point I'm trying to make is when you make that much bacon, okay, and when you cook in an open format and you leave it there and you're like, guys, come take your food. I think generally you look at the portion and you're like, okay, what is 1/5 of this, right? And then you take that. And if there's any left over, then you go back and you're like, whatever. but I also on trips like this, because everyone's working sporadically, not everyone's gonna go get their food at the same time. And I remember like, because a lot of times I'd be making this stuff, I would make the food and then I would take my portion and I'd be like, okay, we're good or whatever. But then I'd come back like 20 minutes later after I'm eating, and I'd look at it and I'm like, someone clearly like took an improper amount, and then by the end, the last guy would be like, "What the fuck?" There's like one piece of bacon left, right?
Wow.
So
No, that's actually what happened.
yeah, like
Day one,
several
day
times.
Who was the person?
Well,
that was,
no, we're not gonna air out the names.
Okay, wait. Give
You
me
know
a
who it
hint.
was, but like
Was it one of you?
it was
No,
not one of
it
us.
was not one of us.
Okay,
So
was it a tall?
yeah. So
Okay.
throughout the
No,
course
it's
of the
okay.
entire trip, we were like,
We'll tell you later.
like you know,
You know who it is.
we were
Okay.
talking between each other, and we were like, "Oh, like how many pieces of bacon did you have?" And it would always be like,
How many pieces of bacon did you
The
have?
answer was always 3.
It was always 3. Like everyone would be like 3, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, well, I'm not, like, what am I gonna do? Be like, no, you didn't have.
That's
3.
exactly what you're supposed to do.
You know what I
You
mean?
start accusing
Yeah,
people.
none of us had proof, but yesterday. Someone in our group texts us a photo, and in this photo, it can only be described as there is a sandwich with 5 pieces of bacon in there.
5 pieces of bacon, like 4 eggs. You know what I mean? Like,
Send me this photo.
I was like, and we were like, this is definitive photo proof that someone did not take 3 pieces. I felt so validated. This is how I know I'm old. Like, this is the shit that makes me
Yeah,
happy.
you're
now.
like, I was not crazy. So you did not have 3. Okay.
we're gonna have Davin put the okay. So right now on the screen is the photo of the sandwich with the bacon in it. Please drop a comment wherever you can drop a comment and tell us how many pieces of bacon you think is in this sandwich right now. Thank you for your participation.
Well, for the sake of our friend here, we're gonna blur out his face.
I will crop it. No
Well,
stress.
just a sandwich.
Just the
We'll
sandwich.
crop it, but
Yeah.
like, it's,
Idiot, if you put his face at this point, he's like, damage done. Fuck y'all.
He knows who he is too, because like the image is him like wiping his mouth as he's eating it.
Okay.
he has that
Did he
like
wipe it with bacon?
he has that
Probably
like
like 3 more pieces underneath the napkin. Just
Okay, I know who it is now.
Oh man, it was yeah.
Only one man. I only know one man capable of doing that.
we know what happened
But it
to
was
the bacon.
Oh, jeez.
It was a very nice trip.
Yeah,
Just
other
like,
highlights other than bacon. what else happened?
The highlights, I'll tell you. I think getting a ski in, ski out changes your hill experience significantly. Like completely changes it. We had this one Airbnb, and you head out the back door. You head out the front door. There's like a cubby area where you put your boots on. You store your boards. There's like a locker and everything there too. So you put everything on. You open the door to the outside. To the right is a sauna, and right in front of you is a track that goes down to the lift at the base of the mountain. This is at Red Mountain Resort.
Wow.
It was awesome. Maybe you wake up at 6 a.m. You take a few meetings. You get some work done. The lift's open at 9. You get out. You go on the lift. You go up. Maybe you're out there for like an hour and a half, and then you come back. You do another meeting in the afternoon, and then you go back out. It's that convenient, because when you come back down, you just take a certain run, and then you finish, and you just walk into your Airbnb. Like the experience was fundamentally different.
Yeah.
And I think it may have ruined a normal Airbnb in the town for me going forward.
I remember like Will like would like just go like several times a day. Like he would like go and then come back, take a meeting, then go again, come back a few hours later, have like a cup of coffee or whatever, then go. It was like, yeah, like it truly was like very unique, special, privileged for sure. The vibe was also very different there, because it's like Red Mountain and Revelstoke is a lot more popular, very very touristy, but Red Mountain felt like a true local experience. So like the people there were very different. Like they were very like first of all, Sunday and Rahil saw a guy paraskiing. Like he was
Really?
parachute. Like he
Off
had
a
he
parachute.
had a glider, and he was like he was landing at the base, but like they just do shit like that there. And like
Wow.
on the last day,
Extreme.
when it was like snowing, we were going up on the lift, and there was like it can only really just be described as like a cliff. Like it was like a cliff face, and like all these like little kids, like I'm talking about like 5-6-year-old kids, like they were going like just fucking like gunning in there with their ski instructor and just like sending it off one after another. We were like, fuck man. Like, and then on the lift up, me and Sunday are talking to this skier from like Colorado or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go hit like Beer Belly, I think was the run. And then we get to the top, and like the
Beer
run's
Belly's closed.
closed. And it was just like Yeah, like, you know, he's like a guy
I
that's
got it.
probably been like here like a billion times, knows like the trails, like
Yeah.
To give you
Back of
context,
his
Beer
head.
Belly is the steepest cliff drop on the resort.
yeah, he was just like,
yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
you
go
just
hit it when
there's
it's
like
closed.
trees and then a cliff and then more trees.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
that's it.
yeah, middle of nowhere. He's just,
I would be shitting my pants just seeing
Just
this.
sending
Like,
it.
this is people just casually being like, "Yeah, I'm about to go hit this."
yeah, no, but it was cool, man. Like just to see
Awesome.
that Vince, like.
Oh yeah, tell us about. Wait, you didn't meet Vince?
No, so like Vince, like Sunday
yeah.
and Rahil met this guy named Vince, and he sent us like a video of him. But like,
shout out Vince. He's the local. Oh gosh, because I want to be really nice in the way I say
like a
this.
ski bum, like
He's a ski bum.
older ski bum.
Yeah.
What does ski bum mean?
Ski bum means someone who generally just all they do is ski or snowboard.
Mhm.
They live like near a mountain, and they probably do a lot of drugs.
Mm.
Yeah, they
Probably,
probably.
yeah.
I'm not gonna make that assumption, but like
Yeah.
you know, we love ski bums. He was just like an older ski bum. He looked like maybe he was like 50, 60 years old. He was just out there with no shoes.
Yeah, in the
Wait,
winter
like-
patio with no shoes
On the patio outside.
like,
This is in all fairness, they saw him on a hot day. There was one day where
Okay,
the
hot
weather was
day,
really
sure.
nice. It was like maybe 13 degrees Celsius.
Okay, that's a
And
warm
you know,
day.
people were like skiing in shorts and shit. It was it was. This is that kind of
Wow.
like to Luke's point. Red Mountain was really nice in that. So a couple of things about Red Mountain. I think it has the most skiable acres per person because they in North America.
yeah, because like there's like no one.
There's like no one there, and it's a huge resort. So it's really big, and it's some of the toughest terrain for the expert terrain. So as far as their expert terrain goes, a lot of professionals they say Red Mountain has the hardest one. So people who are really really good, they like to go there, and then it's just locals that go there. So we had like access to this one back bowl. Nobody was there. You couldn't see anybody. It was just you had the whole resort to yourself. It was pretty
cool.
awesome.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty awesome.
It's very
Yeah.
different from when I go skiing and all. These,
Oh,
like,
complete like opposite
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like
Where's
Blue
my-
Mountain.
Blue
like,
Mountain, go
Trump
fuck
Lawn
yourself,
vibes.
please.
Yeah, like-
I'm kidding. Actually, we might want to come like do some stuff there or something.
Yeah. It's
Actually,
like,
I like you guys. I
Altera,
like
we
you
love
guys. Altera, I like you guys.
wait, but like you guys did like what? How many other resorts too?
We did
Just two.
Revelstoke as well.
Okay. And no, you guys have not mentioned Revelstoke once in this review. So I guess-
Revelstoke, we only did 2 days.
yeah, only, yeah.
So it was great. Revelstoke was really, really great. It was a little busier.
Oh yeah, a lot
Um,
busier.
a
But not,
lot-
like,
it was a
not
lot
necessarily
busier.
in a bad way. It's just a lot busier.
Yeah.
But it was
That's it.
Revelstoke was very,
To be honest, I
uh,
kind of forgot about Revelstoke.
Revelstoke
Fairly-
reminded
I'm not
me
gonna lie.
more of like a typical like out west mountain in the sense of like the one thing I find generally about mountains out west is they're kind of hard to traverse if you're like a first time there. Just in terms of just finding terrain to like do. Like I remember like Revelstoke, like there was a lot of like long traverses to get places. Like I remember the one back chair that we wanted to take. We literally didn't go there the second day because we were like, oh fuck, this like the flat traverse is like terrible away from there. It's not Stoke, but it's the one that like when you go to the back when you want to go to Stoke,
Yeah.
super flat. So we were like, fuck that. Revelstoke was really nice though because me, Sunday, and Will, we did this hike and it was snowing really, really heavily. And I was like telling Arya, like that was like the best like snow I've ever experienced. It was so deep. Like when we like Will had this heavy board and he kept getting stuck, but he was like, it was like going like basically up to his waist. But like it
Really?
was like, and
How
dude,
much snow?
it was a trip because like the hike, usually there's a defined path. Like there's like stairs and everything.
Hiking in snow boots is whoa.
It's
I
trust me,
didn't do
way
the hike.
Yeah.
Like
They wanted to go for the hike. I was like, I'm gonna sit here. I was having a granola bar. I was having a little sit down. I was having a little break. I was just watching them go up,
that's
and then I looked up after maybe 20 minutes, and they were like,
not that far up. Yeah. Dude, the hike was
like jeez.
and like it was funny because like when we were going up, like maybe like 10-15% of the way up, there was this Asian girl ahead of us, and she was stuck. Like she couldn't, like she kept like sliding. So Sunday was like, hey, we were basically like, hey, you want us to like carry your board? Like, can we help you up?
Oh, look at
And
that.
she was like, no.
Was
like,
she
I
hot?
don't-
Did your girlfriends know? No, I'm joking.
she was.
Master of saying like dumb shit on a podcast.
He did say he was bringing this energy on today. But
No one's taking your title by that. Not for the fact that they can't, they don't want to.
Seriously, like,
no, but she kept sliding, and like we were like, okay, like, do you want help? Blah blah blah. And she was like, no, like I'm okay. I heard like her man was like probably like 2 meters ahead, like he was just like kind of sitting there. And then we kept.
That's what.
I'm assuming that was her man. Like it might not have been. Maybe it was her. Maybe it was her brother. Who knows? Like, yeah, and maybe that's why he wasn't helping.
You God sent boys are like, yeah, hey, Missy.
Listen, he definitely heard that later. You know what I mean? From her, she probably gave it to him later for that.
Well,
They asked me.
So basically, what ends up happening is like we keep climbing, and like at parts of this hike, it actually gets really hard. Like it gets to the point where like I'm using my snowboard to like basically like create like leverage in the snow, and then like I'm taking my boots and I'm like kicking them into the thing so I can
God.
So like when we get to that point, we get all the way to the top, and I was like, dude, there's no way this girl is making it, because I'm like the part of the hike she was at, like we didn't even need our hands. We were just walking. Like,
So
with
wait,
our board.
so at this point, like, did you guys help her? Yes or no?
No, so she was like she didn't want help. She was
Oh.
like, no, like I don't need help. Blah, blah. We're like, okay, whatever.
Great. And then you guys walk past her,
So we're all the way at the top, and then
and then you're still thinking about her. just try to clarify the timeline of events here. Okay.
No, we were
This
just
is
like
the end of all of us as we know it. This
we
is
were-
just
we were feeling
doomsday.
sorry. Yeah.
Canada's done. The 3 wise guys are done. Everything's finished. There's no hope for us.
this is all D wants to focus. Fine, but like
just clarify.
Burn, you might as well just burn the house down. To be honest,
we were just okay. We were feeling very empathetic because we were like that was a terrible hike. We had to
Smart man.
we were at the top and
Empathetic.
we sat there for like I think 10-15 minutes just catching our breath, and like it was storming, like there was like blizzarding winds, like that's how like hot we were after the hike. So we sat up there for like a bit, like, and then we started going down, and then me and Sunday were like because we kept seeing other people get up like after us, and we were like, we don't see like the guy with the chick, and I was like, dude, like they're not making it up here. Like I'm like, I don't know how she's getting down, but she's not getting down this way. So anyway, we end up hitting the run. It was very nice, but like basically we stopped a bunch because we were trying to wait for each other and stuff. So then when we got to the bottom and we ate, I was like, I kind of want to do the hike again. And then Sunday was like,
Wow.
okay, if you want to do the hike again, like maybe I'll do it with you. But then like afterwards, he was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like I'm still gonna do it.
Why did you want to do the hike again?
Because I wanted to ride that snow, but like continuously. Like I wanted to have one run where I just kind of ripped it and not like stopped and like, and like I didn't regret the hike afterwards, but I was telling Arya,
So
this
you did
connect.
do it again.
I did. And this is where it connects with the girl, by the way. So I
Again.
I did this
She
hike.
pops
she
up
was still
again.
walking up like halfway.
No,
up
so
the
this was
mountain.
keep this in my mind. This is like an hour and a half later, like after the original hike. I started doing the hike again. This time it was very like way harder than the first one. Maybe because like the tracks were already like thing, and I was doing it by myself.
Probably tired.
I was telling them at one point my gloves, because I had the finger gloves, like the fingers got frozen.
Wow.
But I had to grab my board for leverage, so I just like sat up there and I put my gloves like inside my jacket, and I was sitting there for like 5 minutes. And then when that happened, there was a ski patrol guy beneath me. He was the only other guy hiking, and I see him, and then I was like, some hike, eh? And he was like, yeah, you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, okay, I don't want to rescue someone else again today. And I was like, oh, really? And I was like, was it an Asian girl? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, I saw her earlier when we were hiking. And he was like, yeah, she like broke her hip or something.
Oh.
And I was like, oh shit. And then he was like, yeah, but like, you're good, right? Like, no worries, I don't have to wait here for you. I was like, no, you're good. And then like he went up, and then I saw him like at the top. But
The dots are connecting.
Yeah.
When they went for the walk up, I was chilling there. I was chilling there for maybe like, because it was a 20-30 minute hike up to the
Yeah.
top. And I was like, okay, I'll meet you at the bottom. We eat. So I was like, I can sit here for 20-30 minutes. I had, like I said, granola bar, right? And I saw a ski patrol guy, an Asian ski patrol guy. He was a little bit bigger.
yeah,
He was talking in Mandarin to like, I guess her family.
Oh, shit.
And they were like walkie-talking, like, "Oh, where is she? Oh, yeah, I'm coming up right now." Like they were talking Mandarin to each other, and then he was on the
Yeah.
walkie in English.
Oh no!
And I think he was talking about that girl then.
It has to be,
Yeah, like they were planning that rescue for a solid like 20, 30 minutes.
It's not an easy thing to do too, because it's a very narrow path, right? Like I can't imagine like for the ski patrol, like they were probably like, fuck, like on this area, really? Like, but
yeah. Well,
all this to say, if you guys ever go out west, please do the stuff that you guys are comfortable with. Do not be like
don't
these
be
people.
like Luke. Like don't follow Luke. Like like let Luke.
Well,
do
I'm
his
saying
own
like
thing.
those like that girl specifically had no business being there. Like, it was like I'll
What
give
if
you an
she had
example.
a friend like you.
No, I would have told her not to go.
Okay.
It's like, for example, like Rahil was like, "Oh, I want to like do the hike so I can take a photo," and Sunday was like, "No, like,
No, don't do it.
like, you're not coming." Like,
Oh, shout out Rahil, by the way. It was his first time snowboarding this season completely.
Yeah.
And he actually got pretty good by the end of it. You know what I
Genuinely
mean?
awesome.
So, shout out to Rahil.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the thing. And another tip: always get maybe 2 extra packs of bacon, because someone's gonna get
on
greedy.
your group, especially
Someone's
if
gonna
it's
get
all,
greedy.
if it's all dudes.
If it's all dudes, someone's gonna get greedy.
all dudes.
When in doubt. But
I don't even know if I want to bring this up.
do it or speak your piece, because we got to move on after this.
I also witnessed one of the funniest fights I think I've ever witnessed in my life between Arya and Sunday.
I don't want to talk about this.
Dumbasses.
This can be bar talk.
It's just amazing how a person who knows you very well for a long time can get under your skin. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. No,
I love you, son Dave. I love you.
I guess like while you guys were out west enjoying, scenic beauty, snowed hikes, like I was, home chilling with my girlfriend, playing house.
That
How'd you like that?
domesticated lifestyle.
Yeah, I loved it. And then at some point, I remember this was like 2-3 episodes ago where I was talking about I want to go see a Raptors game for free. Like, based off of like, you guys' tickets. I don't remember how long, but then my wish came true. One of my partners at work, messaged me during that week and was like, hey, like, April 4th or whatever, sometime this past week, he was do you want to go see a game? I'm going to be in Toronto. We can, have a meeting. Sorry?
It was the 3rd.
Was the 3rd. Yeah, April 3rd. It's like we can have a meeting, talk some business, and then, go mellow out with at a Raptors game. And I was like, you know what? Like, maybe the universe is on my side. And like, and actually
someone's listening.
Like someone actually listens. Not sure who or what, but someone listens. And so
You gotta manifest on the pod.
there we go. Manifest on the pod. I want $1 billion.
Me too.
Me too.
David,
I want 10% of his $1 billion.
I want to.
That's actually all I need.
Oh god. And so all of this to say, I did my partner pulled up, came through, and I did go to a Raptors game this week. And couple thoughts. We suck. Okay? Like pretty still pretty
So
bad.
no opinion change since last time.
No.
No, because I was you were the last person to go to a Raptors game, or me?
You
No,
were.
It was you.
It was me.
It was you.
It was me.
And
It was awful.
I've been to a decent amount of Raptors games, probably like more than like 5 or 6. These are the best Raptors seats I've had ever. It was like 103, section 103 or something like that.
Those photos.
So shout out to my partner for shelling out. He's American, and I remember me and one of my other coworkers, I was like, "Is that USD to CAD?" You know what I mean? Like, they're like $250 for a game, not knowing it's like what $350, $400 for the seats, whatever.
Dude, it's like if when we go to like other countries and we're like, oh my god, our currency like goes far here.
We're in Vietnam. I was like, wow, this bag is so cheap.
Yeah,
that's them when they come
The
here.
Americans do that, but for everything that we have.
for everything.
Oh jeez. And like we go and like it's like have the best seats. I'm hoping like this should be. We're playing the Portland Trailblazers. Who
I remember this conversation because we
As
were
if
like,
that's
we
an
have a
expensive
chance.
game even to start with. You
know
know?
what?
As if that's even an expensive game to
Dude,
start with.
definitely not an expensive game, but like, man, like Toronto is actually a great sports city. Because tell me why the arena was packed. Like arena, like even my partners, like were like, they're like, whoa, like you guys really, and like not only was the arena packed, But before like the game got out of hand, the energy was like insane. Like it was pretty fucking good. And like keep in mind, like the only two stars that were playing were Scotty and RJ.
Mm.
And they didn't even play that much. Scotty had all of 5 fucking points. Well done, Scotty. Like RJ as usual was like, you know, like the guy that actually like does stuff. And I think he had maybe like 18 or 20. I don't know. But like all of this to say, like the Portland Trailblazers suck. Probably more than the Raptors.
Was Brandon Ingram playing?
No, he wasn't. He was on the bench. He had a really nice green jacket on. But that
He had a
was
nice outfit last time I went too.
Yeah,
Nice
like,
outfit,
yeah, he's clearly
he
a
has great
millionaire.
outfits.
Yeah, he's very clearly.
You hope so. He's apparently
He's
the best
Ben
player
Simmons
on our
level
team.
outfits.
Yeah, like you know, like we just need to get you on the court and start playing. But
I don't
like,
think we'll see him actually this season.
no, he's done. No, I don't think he's done
Yeah.
for the season. Like
Yeah.
I mean, the season ends in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't
So
think we're gonna see
like 2-3 weeks, so he wasn't gonna be there. But all of this to say, I really was hoping, and I think the fans also were hoping that we would beat the Portland Trailblazers. And for the most part, for like the first half, like we were winning, and then like we lost the lead and it got tight. But like in the second half, man, is this dude named O'Shea, and like he's an
Brissett?
effort guy. No, I don't know. Nah, I don't know. Like you figure it out. Number 23 for the Raptors. His name is O'Shea.
Oh no.
Very energetic, effort guy. You know, good defense.
Good
but,
job, buddy.
You know, like, dude, come on, man. Like, just do better. Like, I know you're a professional and I can't play, but do better. Okay, like,
What was the issue? Like
man,
getting turnovers
everything. Like, you know, like he was playing good defense, but just on this side of the court where I
like what do you mean everything? Was he injuring our players? Like what was he?
He was
doing?
turning the ball over. He was fucking just making stupid passes. He was thinking he was a player that he was not. Like, you know what I mean? You know when players like it's like our starters are like, you know, injured, and so like this is your chance. But instead of like focusing on the fundamentals and doing like just plays that will be good, like dude just thought for some reason, like, you know, he's Kyrie Irving. Like, you get what I mean? Because he's short. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Because he's short.
like, I don't know. Like, he's like 6'2", so he's not short. But, like, you know, compared to other NBA
I get
players,
it, yeah.
like, he's just doing the dumbest of shit. Like, I remember seeing our coach at some point being like, I'm like, why are you telling him to do this? Just take him out. But clearly there wasn't much more.
He's ready to throw shade at any professional sports player on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
I asked him how the game went. He's like, we got slapped by Shaden Sharp. That's sad.
Yeah. Hey, shout out
That's
to
the first thing he said.
That's a double negative. That's an insult to the Raptors and their player.
Well, the truth is, and I guess the Raptors segment is done. Like, waiting for next season. Next season, I think we will be better. But like it was just like I just wanted to see a better showing, but that's okay. Now to the Trailblazers. Did you know a dude named Shaden Sharp?
No.
Shaden Sharp. Did you? Did you? Neither did I. But this dude announced himself on the court while I was there, and I was like, "Wow!"
Wait, what?
Like, no, like, dude, he was like
What do you mean
dribbling,
announced? Oh,
dribbling circles. Around.
I thought he pulled the mic out and he was like, I'm Shaden Sharp.
No.
Shadeon Sharp.
Yeah, I don't know, Shaden. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name.
I'm sorry.
This is
We
number-
don't know you.
Yeah, number 23 guy that I'm talking, dribbling circles around, bro. Don't get me wrong, he had a couple good possessions and a couple good steals, but like he was the man. Like, you know, I think he dropped like a career high. Of course he did. Like 36. I remember I was Googling it. Maybe he was at 34, and we were like, oh, he's probably going to break his career high. We should probably check how many points he had. We'll put it on there. But yeah, like I think he's a rookie or he's been in the league for like 2 years. Like, keep a lookout for that guy. Like he was good. Him and Denny. I'm not
Danny
gonna.
Advia.
Yeah, Advia.
Yeah.
Like both of them wrecked our Raptors. But you know, again, like aside us, you know, getting slapped by Shaden Sharp, it was always a great experience going to go see the Raptors. And like I said, like my partners were like, you know, pleasantly surprised by the atmosphere. Like, you know, like I was like. It was a little bit of a proud moment for me, you know, where I was like, yeah, man, like, you know, we suck, but like, we just love our sports teams.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we support the Raptors so much where it doesn't matter. Like, people will, like, you know, give their hard-earned money to the Raptors, like, all the time. And the energy is always going to be on point. So, shout out Toronto. And Roy Woods performed, and you know, it was
Really?
like, yeah, local Mississauga man. Yeah.
The lawful. Tell him how you told me about it.
Oh yeah, because I was Roy Woods was performing, and there was one particular song where I was like, huh, that sounds like Drake. And then like my partners were like, oh yeah, like I think so. And I was like, yeah, Drake probably stole his shit. Well, no, I said Drake probably bit off his like music. And like my partner was like, would it be Drake buying off his music or him buying off Drake? And I was like, you know what? And like, this might be this is definitely my personal bias coming out. But I was like, yeah, like, you know, Drake is a master at merging different sounds from different people. And like, you know, what's Drake's sound? Like, I don't know. Drake, he can do Afro beats. He can do
He has a different
electro.
sound depending on.
Depending on who he's feeling like that day. And I was like, this is a Roy Wood sound. And like, it sounded like Drake. And coming up, obviously, I talked to my local Drake expert, you know, Arya Gailey over here. And I was like, dude, like, you know, I just want to make sure I'm not giving false information to the US guys, even though this was like 5 days ago. I already said what I said, but I can always retract my statement. And we went searching for the Roy Wood song because I didn't remember exactly.
The song was Drama.
It was Drama. I remember exactly how
it's Roy Woods and Drake.
Yeah. Okay. So that's look at you. Look at the Toronto.
It was
man
actually
right there.
we're in the
I
car.
know.
We're in the car driving back from Winners. I think it was, and Dolph was like, "Yeah, guess who performed at the Raptors game?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Who?" He's like, "Well, I know. I want you to guess it." And I was like, "Okay, can you give me a clue?" He's like, "Local artist." I was like, "Okay, but he's not that big, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's not that big. He's big, but not that big." I was like, "Okay." I was like, Roy Woods.
First guess.
First guess.
Which is impressive. Impressive on
That
Arya's
is, that
part.
is impressive. I think I would have guessed like Majid Jordan or something like that.
Yeah.
But he
Jordan.
might have been too big. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Majid Jordan, that big. He's bigger than Roy Woods for sure.
yeah, bigger,
Yeah.
but not.
Yeah.
Sig-
No, but
you
I'm,
know
I'm
what?
happy. Look at everyone in Toronto actually
we know who
repping
these
for
people
Roy
are.
Woods, man. Like for sure.
Yeah, dude, he
Pressa
was.
Armani.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. All right, chill out. But
He was-
but
he was
yeah,
big
the
in-
song
yeah.
the song was Roy Woods featuring Drake, Drama. So go stream that. It's a pretty good song.
Great
He
song.
Yeah.
performed that. He had great energy, but I don't know if you've gone to a basketball game, you know how halftime performances usually are. So he made the most out of that, and I don't know if he's featuring Drake, like I don't know, like yeah, that's Drake's scene as Flo fucking with it and hopping on. No,
Well, I like we had this discussion. I think a really, really long time ago on the podcast, and I would say like first like 10 or 20 episodes
okay,
where we were actually talking about like one of the big things in the OVO and like Toronto music scene is like lack of collaboration in a weird way. Because remember the context of the conversation was like we were talking about TDE and the Dreamville tapes. Like that was when Dreamville dropped Revenge of the Dreamers
Revenge
2.
of the Dreamers 2. What
which
a
was
fucking tape,
which was
dude.
an amazing,
amazing tape.
And
Every
we were-
Revenge of the Dreamers is an amazing
Yeah.
collaboration.
Yeah.
But
Every single one.
then we kind of started talking about like, well, like what about the OVO like collab tapes? And then, like the conclusion I think we came to is like a lot of times Drake like
What
adds
OVO collab
people.
tapes?
Yeah, which ones?
You're right. Like I'm more
Which
so
one?
saying like just collabs in general because not every single like rap group will do like a collab tape, but they'll always do like crossover songs.
No, I get what you mean.
Like good
Right.
music, I don't think ever did like a full on tape.
They did Cruel
with
Summer.
Wale.
Yeah, Cruel- yeah.
Cruel
yeah.
Summer.
We have the record.
Yeah, we literally
I have the record right
The
here.
TDE did one.
Yeah.
You're
He
right.
did one. Pro Era did a bunch of them too.
Okay, I guess it's just.
Okay, just let it go. Let it go.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
OVO.
Okay, so like I think the conclusion we came to is like Drake adds on artists that accompany his music. Like he doesn't build a label around the idea of like, is this label well rounded or like whatever. He's like, what pieces make my music work?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add those artists to my collection. And then I think like one of the things we actually talked about was like he kind of put some of them on ice. You know what I mean? Like
That was my take the last time we talked about it too. If you remember,
I
it was
love
like
Conan.
I love Drake. I love his music. Don't get me wrong. I love what he's done for the city. But as far as like collaboration with artists,
Yeah.
it's so temporary. It's so short fused, and then their careers generally just go off to die unless you're like The Weeknd or Party Next Door or something like that.
Yeah. No, and yeah, like I think you guys are right, and that is a critique, but I do like want to give Drake his flowers, which means a lot coming from me if Drake is ever listening. Like you are Mr. Toronto. Like you know what I mean? He is synonymous with the Toronto brand, and like I feel like when other people come in, like I remember like my partners were like, yo, like Drake, that was one of the things he was telling me, and I was like, oh, he buys off, he's like, but he's like Mr. Toronto, like
Yeah,
he
he's
reps,
the guy.
like he reps for
he's
the
the
whole
guy.
city, and
Yeah.
He's
we're
like the Conor McGregor of Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, Drake is
to Canada, and the truth is, like, he really is like you go on the Raptors, like you know the cheerleaders and stuff were wearing OVO gear.
He's their
Like,
official ambassador.
yeah, he's their official ambassador. Like the guys were telling me when they drove into the city, they saw like the OVO building. I was like, oh yeah, like that's the Raptors office and practice
right.
facility. Like
Yep.
he does that. Like he owns like I'm pretty sure a shit ton of fucking land in the city.
I'm
Like,
sure he has stake in like so many of like the nightlife that goes on in the
Yeah,
city.
absolutely.
I mean, he owns History,
Yep.
and like History is an incredible venue.
Yeah,
like
a venue, man.
probably one of my best local venues in the city, and like we go to a decent amount of local concerts. I think we've probably been to
History like at least 5-6 times.
but I meant like in terms of like just local venues, like in the city. Like
I feel like we've been across us, like we've been to literally every
I
single
think
venue.
every
Like every single venue.
like all
Danforth,
10,
Velvet
15 of
Underground.
them. Like even the place I went to go see Asha.
Yeah.
It's in Exhibition. Like I forget the name of that place.
I forget.
I forget, but like, even that venue I'd never been to, and I went there and I was like, "Ooh, this is like another really good venue." But like History is like pretty up there as well, right? So like he built that and he created that, and that's platformed. Like we said, we've been there probably like 5-6 times, and it only came in after the pandemic. So clearly, like that filled like
The thing is
a
though,
space.
like
So just give him his credits. Like, but like yes,
Yeah.
there's like we're talking about SoCan right before, which is like Canada's music publishing. Like like no one knows about SoCan because like how much music like comes out of Canada, truly like published music. And I'm pretty sure a decent amount, but that's something that should be big. I wonder if Drake he actually uses
the
US
license.
labels,
Yeah, I was
so-
gonna say like I don't think like Drake's like entire artwork would be included in
No, like,
SoCan. Yeah,
If it was,
I don't think so.
that would
It would make it way more valuable.
it would make SoCan like like world level, but like that's okay. Like like it's whatever.
World level, Universal has it. So what?
Yeah, like it's
get-
fine. But like if like there was more collaborations with local artists and stuff like that, those artists would you get me? Imagine you having I wonder if Roy Woods, I don't know how it is, but if his music, if Drama featuring Drake was licensed by SoCan.
I would guess that because he's in OVO, like whatever licensing deals OVO gets. I'd be curious to know
that's
if
how
like
that would work.
I'd be curious because like it's like if you are an artist under a label, I feel like you don't get a say on the music distribution and the label. But I don't know, right?
I mean, licensing is different from a label because licensing is production.
The other thing I want to say too is
sorry,
like
label is production rather. But continue. Sorry.
well, label is also like management, right? Like
Yeah.
artist management and like stuff like that. So
Yes.
like ownership thing. But anyway, like the other point I wanted to make was like you're making a lot of good points here, and I'm shocked because you are the avid Drake hater of this household. But I absolutely agree. Like I think it's one of those things where Drake has done a lot of incredible things throughout the course of his career, still ongoing, and like it's one of those things where anyone at the height of any level, because like taken like the fact of the matter is we just said if this one artist's music was on Canadian distribution, like we would be world class. And I think I genuinely agree with that. Like Drake is one of the biggest artists in the world, right?
He is, yeah.
And it's like one of those things where it's similar to the Mahomes or like other people. When you're at that level of success, like people want to see you fail.
Yeah, they do.
And
they
like
do.
I actually had this thought the other day. I don't want to bring back the Drake versus Kendrick beef thing, but like I was like, one of the reasons why I think people want Drake to lose so bad is because you can't escape Drake.
No.
You can escape Kendrick. Like we listen to Kendrick Lamar, so I'll always hear his songs. But you do not hear Kendrick Lamar when you're just out and about on a daily basis.
No,
you know
you
what I
don't.
mean? You're not gonna like hear him. Like Drake is like
Unless you're in my
is-
car.
yeah. But you know what I mean? Like Drake, some Drake songs are mall music. Like
yeah.
it
Yeah.
like you
Some
know what I
Drake
mean?
songs are elevator music.
Yeah, or
bro.
elevator
Yeah.
music.
No,
It's
absolutely.
crazy.
Resort's
Like
insane.
when
It's
you
insane.
think about it that way.
One thing
Yeah.
you guys will find interesting. So all of the OVO artists, except for Drake himself, the distribution is through Warner.
Yeah,
Mm,
I read
Drake
something
himself,
like
his
that.
distribution agreement is through Republic and Universal.
Yeah,
So OVO essentially has the distro agreement with
Warner.
Warner, and Drake himself will distribute through.
Is Warner
Universal.
Canadian?
no,
No,
Warner
no, no,
Music
no.
Group, WMG.
Warner is one of
publicly
the
traded.
One of the
big
biggest
three.
globally.
big
yeah.
three.
By the-
Is
yeah.
UMG is Warner and Sony.
UMG,
Yeah.
Warner and Sony. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
correct.
I
Yeah.
thought one of the big ones bought a huge catalog from the other one recently. Am I just completely tripping on that?
I don't know. Sony is the one. Sony has like I think the largest catalog. Like they got the Michael Jackson catalog. Sony Sony ATV. Something like they own like they bought like Michael Jackson. Made a deal back in the 80s or something or 90s to buy the catalog of a bunch of artists like the Beatles and like a bunch of other people. And I know like Sony like paid like 750 million or something like that
Yeah.
to get that. But I was also gonna say Roy Woods is actually signed to OVO.
Yeah, so
And-
his distro is through Warner.
And he's distros through
Yeah.
Warner. So
Yeah.
shout out
But-
Roy Woods. Like it was great seeing you. You did
Yeah.
really, really well.
Yeah.
Sorry, the other thing I also wanted to kind of like just because we're on this Drake topic that I think is interesting is like there are certain
Okay.
So we're reading this thing because
Yeah.
Luke can't see it right now, but the top
SoCan.
Canadian artist registered with SoCan.
is Michael
Number one is Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of Canada's biggest exports.
Okay. So
Drake is a SoCan member, has won
it's a-
multiple SoCan awards.
He's
The
associated with
Weeknd,
SoCan. Yeah.
Shawn Mendes, Justin Bieber,
makes sense.
Alessia Cara. Shout out Alessia Cara. She's she's
She's a
Brampton.
pop artist. Yeah.
She's Brampton. Michael Bublé. He just did the Junos.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Tammy for performing at the Junos. Super proud of you. Avril Lavigne, Daniel Caesar,
Yes.
Nav, and who the hell is Feast?
I don't know.
But
I don't
sorry,
have any
indie
single
artists.
person
Sorry,
besides
Feast.
Feast.
But I have no idea who you.
But that's for their Canadian rights, which is like fine.
Murder Beats is
He's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Canadian. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I take that back. I'm glad, like SoCan, like these artists are registered with SoCan and actually.
I have not heard that tag in a long time. Like
Murder
Murder on
Beats
that
is
beat,
number
so
one
it's
most-
nice.
Yeah.
The number one most streamed artist in the world consistently for like the past decade is
Drake.
Canadian.
Yeah. That's
Like, that's
a big
just
deal.
a great.
You know
thing
what's
to take
crazy?
away. Not
Might
only
be-
just Canadian,
Might
from
be one and
Toronto.
two because the Weekend is incredibly globally
Yeah, it's
renowned.
incredibly.
Like might be 1 and 2, dude.
I think.
some
When are
years.
we gonna get
I
Drake
think
and the Weeknd at Junos?
They-
But
they
anyways,
hate each other.
Conversation. One
Yeah.
of them.
They hate each
One or
other.
the
Like
other.
they wasn't there a whole thing of like they almost like merged labels at one point, but then
Yeah.
like
OVOXO.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, so.
but
Yeah,
then
so-
like anyway.
But see, that was what I was trying to say to the point of like Drake tries to absorb people, so they can't surpass him, right? It was a control thing. I'm pretty sure is what it was. That's why OVOXO didn't work.
Yeah, that makes that,
EXO realized they
yeah,
could do
that makes
more on
sense.
their own, and they absolutely did. In my
They
opinion,
killed it, yeah.
if EXO stayed with OVO, EXO
yeah.
would have died right
Yeah.
then and there on the spot, death sentence.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
wouldn't
Drake-
have been nearly
yeah.
as big as
It was. It
now.
would have been over before it even began.
But now
you-
that we're go.
the thing I wanted to say though is like I find that in sports and music and all these and actors and stuff, there are people who hone in on the craft, and then there are people who kind of like at some point in their career take a step back and they're like, I'm gonna do the business thing now, right? So it's like the example I can draw is like Jay-Z in like the rap world. And like the actor world, maybe that's like at this stage it would be like a George Clooney.
George Clooney, absolutely.
or maybe even The
I was
Rock.
gonna say. I was
Ben
gonna
Stiller.
say Diddy too.
All right, okay, all right.
Before it all went
before it
down,
went
he had
down,
a
he
booming
would've been a
business,
great
guys.
example.
He did.
Would have been a
He had
great
a booming
example.
business.
Yeah.
It would have been a
Um,
great example, but fuck
Ben
Diddy.
Stiller, even Leo has his own production.
Exactly,
he's always
yeah.
involved. Ooh, this lady, huge production company. Reese Witherspoon,
Yes, yes.
huge.
Tyler Perry.
Wait, sorry.
Tyler Perry.
Reese Witherspoon, I think is the
Rihanna.
one that has the genius business model where she has
Yes,
a
the
big
book club.
She has a big book club.
Yeah.
She uses the book club
she
to
buys the rights
to
for the book
basically
club.
generate demand and like determine which books are going to make it well as movies.
Exactly.
Then she has the rights to make those movies. She makes those movies, employs the people she wants in those movies.
Yep.
And they do great. Like it's like literally like she has her
So
a direct line.
valued approximately at
So
900
we'll
million.
give the context to the readers. Damn, and keep it right there. But Reese Witherspoon founded the media company Hello Sunshine in just 2016.
2016, man.
The mission was
Crazy.
to highlight female-driven narratives across film, television, digital platforms. The company has produced projects such as Big Little Lies, the morning show, and Daisy Joan in the Six.
The morning
I
show.
only know the
Holy
morning
shit.
show.
I know the morning
Yeah,
show.
so-
I've heard
That's
of
like
Big
that's
Little
critically
Lies.
acclaimed.
Critically
Like
acclaimed. Yeah, Apple. That was like an
Yeah.
Apple TV thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's pretty. That's
again, this
pretty
is
nuts.
Little
this is
fires
this is
everywhere.
who I hope if I have a daughter in the future, she looks up to.
Me too,
Not
man.
not a sexy red, but
Holy shit, 900 million.
Nine
That's
hundred
crazy.
million after 5 years, man.
Again, like
Reese, what up, girl?
you know, like
Anyways, this is detour. Yeah.
yeah, sorry, but like to your point,
This
like
is where we
genuinely
are.
inspirational in the sense of like someone who's like, okay, I perceive a problem, which is like I don't like the lack of female representation, and like he's like I'm gonna like make it happen, right? But all this to say, like I find that Drake is in a weird, an interesting position in my opinion because like Kendrick, he's someone I more identify as like okay, he's still in on the artistry.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to create like more impactful albums. That's like his main goal. I feel like Drake is in a weird middle ground. You know what I mean? Because he has these huge business ventures,
He does.
but he's not like, let's not like, I don't know if all this public stuff helps his business ventures. Some of it has to take away from it, right? Because like, I feel like that's why Jay-Z can go all in on like, Ace of Spade and like all of these like, like brands that he's going, because he's like, now I'm thinking about things like optimization, logistics, supply chains, things like that. Like if we were to do an analysis on the OVO brand, I'm sure we could find areas where like, okay, if you switch this supplier, but Drake's not thinking about those things, right? Like he's kind of thinking about that and he's doing his music thing. So like, I don't know. I feel like he's in a weird place in his career. Do you know what I mean? Like he hasn't doubled down on one or the other kind of thing.
I think with these artists and celebrities starting businesses, there's two ways that they can go about it, right? It's you either do it for the sake of doing business, right? And it doesn't matter what the business is. You want to be a business person now, right?
Yeah.
Or you keep it in relation to whatever art it is that you're creating, right?
And that's what Drake has done.
So that's what Drake has done, and he's done that incredibly well, right?
Yeah.
If you look at, let's say, like
Rihanna
like
or
a
something.
Rihanna, right? Is like that's completely different from her
artistry.
music, right?
Yeah.
She's now in makeup and fashion. You know what I mean? And it's kind of the same thing with Kanye West too. You know what I
it's
mean? Like all of his
clothes
business
and-
ventures were around fashion.
Yeah, they're fashion.
You know what I mean? Jay-Z, I mean, you can make the argument. But so the reason why I say this is because it's almost the standard now, I think, for artists to have business ventures, right? Like it's you're almost not successful as
Your
an artist
merch
anymore
line, yeah.
unless you have a business venture and you're owning your brand. Because in the past it was you didn't own your brand, you just made music. You probably didn't even own your music at that point, to be honest. But it was people like Tupac and Diddy and Suge and Jay-Z that kind of changed that for everybody. So
Yeah,
shout out to them. It just goes to show there's so many different ways you can do it, right? Like Suge did the record label. You know what I mean? Kept it strictly with the biz, But
Death Row.
I mean, you can make the argument. What you think Jay-Z making like Ace of Spades? It's separate, but like
Yeah,
you
it's
use
all related.
you use
Yes.
liquor to like you promote it in your rap videos and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Same thing with Rihanna and Fenty, but like I think the difference still matters because what Drake's businesses are around
Pure
are around-
music.
It's like it's music, and it's him being an ambassador is like an artist being an ambassador for like like a brand like Buble.
That's just a
with
sponsorship
Bubbly.
deal. But
it's more
it's
about,
like a
like-
sponsorship deal. And
Less
like,
a business that he's running.
yeah, and OVO, like, you get what I mean? Like his it's a clothing. It's like the most mature version of a merch shop.
yeah.
Like, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not like a retail. Like, it's not like Yeezy. That's
It
like,
is
you know,
retail though.
it
Like,
is.
you know what
it
I
is
mean? Like
retail.
they recently did like obviously they've always had like the NHL like
yeah, I've seen the NBA
but like
stuff.
they have
yeah.
the NBA stuff, they
Yeah,
have the NFL
MLB
stuff.
ML, yeah.
Like they're an
Now he's-
authentic
yeah,
brand,
he's-
right?
he is
It's all
taking-
retail.
scaling it,
Retail.
scaling
It's all
it, yeah.
retail. Retail is just products you can buy in a store, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just what retail means.
All this to say, like I feel like
He's a
my
middle
thing is
ground, I
more
think,
about
yeah.
the focus, right? Like it's like it doesn't matter if Jay-Z went into software. Like the fact of the matter, he was like, yo, I'm gonna like double down on the business side of this thing, and I'm gonna attach that to my music and my brand. Whereas I feel like Drake is more so like, hey, one day I get to like play like CEO, like, big guy, but then next day I get to be like, hey, I'm still an artist, I'm still hip, I can go to the clubs and I can play some sets.
Yeah.
And like truthfully, he is
All
both,
the
right?
bitches love me.
I'm just saying
What's the line? I decide what to be next, like I'm switching plans. That was from Chicago Freestyle, or
I mean,
I
you
think-
would know better than
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
else
yeah.
in the world.
no, that's exactly what you're saying. That's illustrating
Yeah.
the point right there. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
is his whole plan. This is everything he wants to do.
Yeah.
I really want to see the next rapper that does a huge business venture. I want to see the next billion-dollar unicorn San Francisco tech company
come from a rapper. That would be wild.
I want to see that happen. That will shatter everything I know about the world if I see that happen.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. But shout out Reese Witherspoon. Shout out, because like it can't just be rappers, right? We have to talk about artists.
Yeah,
because Reese is huge. Obviously, everybody's like, oh, the way actors make money is via liquor with George Clooney, but it's like, no, this is a woman paving the way, showing you how it can be done.
She innovated the production, almost like business system, because she created a way to kind of like gauge and estimate demand and interest, and then like in an authentic and non-predatory way, right? Like the book club is such like a authentic way of doing it.
It is.
And like I don't think like now that she's done it, it makes so much fucking sense. But
it does.
Before
when it
this,
started,
like the focus groups, and like when you know what I mean? Like the idea of like, why do these movies flop? They've been ran through focus groups. Like focus groups are a terrible way of like determining if like something is good or not, right? There's an inherent bias there. But like with the book club, like these are like people taking time out of their day to be like, I'm gonna read this full book. We're gonna talk about it. Yeah. And she built like it's genius. It genuinely is. It's like it's very hard to like think. The other thought I had was like when you said Kanye, because like I'm wearing a Kanye shirt. I just really wonder.
When does this become problematic, by the way?
Never. I think it's probably problematic already. But like, I just want to know who he commissioned to make the outfit he wore in that most recent interview. I feel like, it's like who was like, is there someone really in the U.S. that you can pay to make that?
Yes, there is.
There is.
Yes, there most definitely.
There definitely is. There's people.
What Luke is referring to.
I don't even know if we should even talk about this.
Yeah, we should. Okay.
I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest.
PC police on duty. But
it's just an awful thing that happened.
All right. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, we didn't get to talk about foreign policy today, and I think that's for the best.
We've been talking about a lot of politics lately, so that's cool. But just again, I said this a few episodes ago. I'll say it again for everybody. We talk about the things, and you said this today. We talk about the things that we talk about in the house. These are the things that matter to us. So sometimes it's gonna be serious, sometimes it's gonna be fun. But I mean, it's always gonna be fun. Yeah. But sometimes it's gonna be serious, sometimes it's gonna be light. So you get what you get when it comes to us. Yep. But I think that about does it for today.
Yeah, I'm going.
Before we end off, I think we should give a quick shout out to the U Ottawa Alumni Association.
Yes, we should.
I don't know if Arya wants to join me on this, but I personally want to say the U Ottawa Alumni Association because
in Toronto,
because the Telfer Alumni Association has not done a great job of engaging with us. So. This is a really awesome event. I think a lot of times when we talk about like our school, sometimes like we do it from a very cynical way.
Except for me, I came from Africa. Okay, I'm just happy. I came from Nigeria.
Yeah,
I'm just happy. My school has an alumni association.
I know for a fact there's earlier episodes where I'm kind of like talking a little bit of trash about our business school, and maybe this is actually a continuation of that because again, they have not been engaging with us. But this event that they held, like I genuinely thought was very well put together.
It was.
And I was really happy to be there. I was actually like, it felt like a nice moment, to be. Yeah.
It was smart. It was there was good takeaways. We ran into a couple people that we actually like knew from uni that we hadn't seen in a long time. Spoke to one of the coordinators, Anne-Sophie. Thank you very much. She took our information out. We'd love to be involved. So yeah, the U Ottawa Alumni Association did a great job with that one, and I am on board with like Telfer. Where you at? You have not. I mean, I get it. We're probably just not successful enough yet.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like that's really all it is. Just wait till some news articles get posted. But I guess that's what it is. Money talks in the business school.
Yeah, and I was gonna add to like. The event was held in a very, very nice location.
Yes.
Like, the venue was awesome. It shows that they actually invest into these events, and it brought a foreign policy expert, like an advisor to prime ministers and stuff to talk. So it's like
he's a professor now.
He's a professor at the university. And it's like just because we attended U Ottawa, we had access to like a full on like expert that advises like prime ministers and presidents, like talking directly to us, and it's like hey man, like that is the goal of being part of like, you know,
That's
groups,
value.
and that's value right
Yeah.
there. So shout out to you, Ottawa.
We can
that's
talk
awesome.
about it more maybe next time if we do get a chance. But yeah, for now, this was our episode. We appreciate you listening. And until next time, one love.
Aces.
Mwah.
Peace.